Hi everyone, and welcome back to CLOSEUP. I'm super excited. We're continuing the lighting talks today, and we're remote live with Brett Englander, who is co-founder and director of sales and marketing for Cerno. He is one of the 3 founders of the company, which is a unique lighting manufacturer based in Laguna Beach, California. Brett, so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you too.
Thanks for being here. So at the core, I love this. At the core of your Cerno's business is the lifelong friendship of you and your 2 co-founders growing up in Laguna, where you've told us that you made art, you built boats, you surfed, you experimented with your own businesses and explored the West Coast. It's clear that your boyhood projects, your curiosity, your love for nature grew into your best adventure yet, which is Cerno. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the friendship has definitely evolved a lot as the business has evolved. I think early on when the 3 of us didn't necessarily agree on something, we often got into it more like siblings. And today we're definitely business partners. Friends first, but business partners in the work environment. But I think, what's really unique, as you said, about that friendship and going back so far in time is that there's this inherent trust and respect and belief in one another. And I mean, I think we're closer today than we've ever been, and it's a really exciting time for us.
That's super special. You don't find that all the time. So, well, we're excited to have you with us to tell this story, the original Made in America lighting company. So I know you've created a video that gives us a look and shows what you've been up to since 2009. So let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Sounds good. Hello and welcome to Cerno. I'm Brett Englander, co-founder, and in addition to me, you're going to hear from my 2 business partners, Daniel Wacholder, Director of Engineering, and Nick Sheridan, Director of Design. Cerno's roots run very deep. Long before Cerno was even a thought, the 3 of us were all exposed to design from a really early age, which is where I think that passion was originally ignited. Daniel, Nick, and I were all childhood best friends growing up together in Laguna Beach. From the earliest days of our friendship, we all shared this same kind of passion and love for building things and adventure and for nature. We were always either at the beach or sailing or surfing. And it's really clear from our earliest projects now that there was this complementary skill set where Daniel always gravitated towards the more logistics, figuring out how we were going to build and do these crazy projects, where Nick really was drawn to the aesthetic and the artistry behind what we were working on. I was always the least capable with tools, but always had a camera around my neck and was chronicling all these wild adventures. After high school, it worked out really well that Nick went off and studied architecture, Daniel studied engineering, and I actually studied journalism. So again, there was a really good foundation for complementary skill sets. 12 years into this wild ride, the love has never been stronger for what we do, and most importantly, this incredible team that has supported our efforts over the past 12 years. I think anyone, whether you're creative or not, you can relate to that visceral feeling you get. It goes throughout your whole body when you complete a project, big or small. That's what we get to do every day. That's what keeps it interesting, and not to nuance or marginalize some of the really hard, challenging times that we've experienced since we started Cerno. But that's really what keeps us going. It's that idea that we can dream up a new design, go into the shop and start working on it, prototyping it, and then introduce it, and then tell the story and share it with all of you. I am beyond appreciative for the architects, interior designers, lighting designers, all the specifiers and users that have used Cerno over the years. The ultimate gratification is when we hear about someone who's pleased with one of our projects or products. I thank you guys again for the opportunity. You really are what makes all of this possible. And now I want to introduce you to my business partner, Daniel Wacholder, who's going to show you that we actually do make it all right here in Southern California.
On this tour, I'm going to show you behind the scenes a little bit, try to help you understand what makes Cerno tick. Ultimately, we started this company because we love to make things, and we've tried to assemble a group of people and a toolbox that allows us to do that. We're taking raw materials and ideas and turning it into finished products all under one roof. Control of the process, we feel, just leads to a much more creative, enjoyable environment that leads us to produce better products. We also feel that it increases quality, and it's just more respectful and fun for the people that work here. So this is Greg here. He's working on a really nice piece of woodwork here. That's something that sets us apart, and we use a lot of wood in our products, and we really value all the traditional tools and craftsmanship that it takes to work with wood. You can see this is Kevin here running the machine. He runs our wood shop. So again, this is a solid piece of walnut, black American walnut. We're big believers in using solid materials. See over to the side here, this is some of our stack of, we got some oak and walnut, maple. We're able to modify and customize too. We can bring in whatever wood species you need. For this part, this is an automated process, but then it'll go through a lot of hand finishing and hand chiseling. So it's a nice combination of old world and new world. All right, so now we're over in the metalworking area. This is Carlos, and he's working on the lathe. Looks like he's making some parts for our Revelite art lighting fixture. This is one of the mounting arms. This is an example of an older manual traditional machine, but works great, and we still use it every day. Okay, so this is a CNC milling machine. We do pretty much all of our machining in-house. So this machine is specifically used mostly for solid materials, drilling, tapping, milling. So you can see right now we're making part of our Revelite art fixture. So here we are at our laser cutter. So this is a machine that's mainly used for cutting metal. This is Oscar. He's one of our engineers. Probably working on a prototype. And this is having the tools in house and being able to try things, experiment, is just, we find to be incredibly valuable for the creative process. I mean, it not only lets us accommodate customers' custom requests, but it lets us play around and just be creative and come up with new designs. So we're up in our design lab, kind of our creative space. This is where Nick does a lot of his magic. So we just, keeping our creative process as connected as possible to manufacturing is just really critical to our process and just results in better designs. So yeah, that wraps up most of the tour.
Oceanfront Maine.
My dad was a general contractor and did a lot of custom woodworking that I was exposed to at a young age. But it really wasn't until architecture school when I found this beautiful logic on how to approach design with modernism, and really learned the awesome power of design and the design process. Up here, this is typically where the design process starts. But now I'd like to go show you some of the finished designs. So this is the Una linear pendant. This is one of our newest releases. It's available in 2 different lengths. It actually has an optional uplight component. This is in whitewashed oak. Here it's about simplicity and getting the proportions correct and letting the wood grain really be showcased. Moving over here, these are 2 of our large architectural fixtures. This is the Rincon pendant and the Tory ceiling mount. This is available in a pendant. This is available as a ceiling mount as well. We are powder coating these in-house and have developed a number of new finishes. Here you can see the distressed brass finish on the Rincon pendant. It also utilizes an indirect lighting method where we're bouncing the light up off of the shade to create a nice diffuse lighting surface. Coming over here, we have the Balboa 28. This is shown in oil rub bronze. This is available in 3 different sizes and is a very simple design part of the architectural launch. Then going back to one of our original floor lamps is the Vallejo, spanning over 10 feet. So we had this as an option in walnut for many years and just released it in whitewashed oak. We continue to try to explore new materials, and we're really excited about incorporating a lot of new product with whitewashed oak. So this is the Mica accent pendant. This is one of the very first pendants we ever released, actually. This is back when I spent an unhealthy amount of time drawing on AutoCAD in the middle of the night. It's very, very simple. It's a box. There's 3 panels that are wood, 3 panels that are diffuser, but it's the way it's executed. It's the way each of the panels are pulled away from each other and kind of float. And there's this reveal between each of them. It's definitely among my favorite. And over here I can show you the Tersus outdoor sconce. So the Tersus has been a popular sconce for us for a while, and we wanted to introduce it as an outdoor fixture. In Southern California we have this indoor-outdoor lifestyle, and we wanted to be able to bring the indoor sconces outside. And here we're doing it with 3/4 inch solid concrete in black, and then the sides are actually marine grade stainless steel. So the materiality is beautiful and it's very robust to really handle harsh environments. Then we can move over here and I can show you the Alavo vanity fixture. So we approached this as a purpose-built vanity fixture with this large reflecting surface that bounces the light coming from the linear source behind this rod. So you have this nice large diffuse light coming in at your face. You get a really nice lighting effect. And it has this beautiful sculptural quality where there's this void behind the rod and this nice wood accent. So it's available in 2 different lengths. Also want to share the Maris with you. It's very similar to the Alavo, but the reflector is not bent, it is just flat. Does well between 2 mirrors, but also it's just a great corridor light. It's just one of our kind of simple sculptural sconces that has a lot of different applications. Thanks for taking the time to watch. We appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about Cerno with you, and hope to see you in real life real soon. Thanks.
Brett, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Love getting a glimpse into what you guys do every day. So you handle sales and marketing, Nick directs design, and Dan oversees engineering and operations. So it seemed to work out perfectly. Everyone doing something that they love and do well, obviously. I know we touched a little bit on how the relationship has evolved, but how do you all work together? What's it like, day to day running this business that's grown, obviously, since you started?
Yeah, from day one, we all had our different areas. I wouldn't say of expertise, because we were all so naive back then, but where Nick was definitely the designer and Daniel was definitely the engineer and ops person, and I was always focused on business development and sales and marketing. So we never had that situation of too many cooks in the kitchen. And today it's pretty amazing because so many things have evolved, but that kind of respect for our different areas of expertise or disciplines remains really strong. And it's key. There's never too many cooks in the kitchen. It works really well.
That's great. And so you started in 2009. What was the window of opportunity you saw, and how did the idea of this company come about, and the name?
Well, Cerno, it was really important to us to have a name with substance, but that wasn't too suggestive. We didn't want to be Laguna Beach lighting. Didn't have a nice ring to it. So Cerno, which means to resolve, really came out of Nick's time in architecture school, where when every crit, it was all about making sure the project was fully resolved, or that was always the goal. So yeah, that's where the name came from. What was the first part?
Oh, sorry. How did you find this, what window of opportunity did you see, and how did the idea come about of this lighting company?
Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't so strategic at the beginning. I really looked up, obviously, to all the greats. I mean, that I think so many of us look up to, as far as, you know, the Eames and Mies van der Rohe and George Nelson and all of them. I mean, were a huge inspiration. But at the beginning, more modern day contemporary companies like Fuse Project was a really big inspiration too, and we wanted to be a vertical design company. We didn't know exactly what the area of focus would be, and Daniel saw an opportunity with LEDs. He said, you know what, everyone's talking about it, but it's not in any of the products yet when it comes to high-end decorative lighting. So when we launched, it was 100% integrated LEDs. They were way more pronounced than they are in the design. We intentionally were celebrating this new technology. So that was, I mean, if there was focused strategy, that was the window, saying the industry's being disrupted. We get to come in, build our toolbox, build our manufacturing capabilities all around a new technology, rather than shifting from an old technology to a new. So I think, like so many entrepreneurial stories that you hear, it was a combination of luck and a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I'm sure. And 2009 was a difficult year in terms of, you know, being a recession. So, I mean, maybe that was an opportunity at the same time.
I think it was. I mean, as we've seen over the last year, there's a lot of innovation that comes out of disruption and challenges. And for us, you know, we had graduated from school 5 or 6 years before, kind of all worked in our respective different fields. I was in development acquisitions, Nick working as an architect, Daniel had been working at a small manufacturing company. So it was an interesting time, but I think a time where there was a lot of creativity and cool innovation happening.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, building a vertical company was very important to you, from back of the napkin idea to raw materials to finished product, and it was super cool to see how you do that. So why was that so important? How do you think that's helped you along the way?
That's the fun part. I mean, you may be able to hear it right on the other side of our studio here, where all the machines and manufacturing is actually happening. That's what we always loved, was coming up with an idea, going out into our shop or our garage at the time, and building it. And that amazing, as I spoke to in the video, that just incredible kind of visceral feeling you get when you do go from this dream to a finished product. So for us, we see it as a real opportunity to preserve intent of the original design throughout the entire process, and then the opportunity for feedback and continual improvement. I mean, every single person on our team, we very much listen to what they say, everyone from the customer service, sales team, and then obviously the designer, engineers, and production team. So it's such an important part of who Cerno is, and I believe the customer does win in the end, because we're so connected and intimate with the entire process that it makes for a better process, or better finished product, where nothing, or not nothing, but very little's lost in translation, as if it could be if you were working, you know, prototyping in one space, doing production in another space, and designing in another space. It's all happening right here in this building.
Love it. And sustainability is a big part of your story, right, as well?
I think it has to be a part of everyone's story today. I mean, if you're producing anything and you're not thinking about it, there's a level of negligence there. So yeah, we've always, the vertical nature of Cerno makes us inherently more sustainable than a lot of manufacturers. We still see a ton of room to improve in that area, and we work toward that, not every year, I mean every day, really. There's always talk about getting better yields and using your natural raw materials more responsibly. So yeah, it's critical to who we are, the sustainability as well.
Love it. And we're almost out of time, so where can designers find your latest and greatest? What's the best way to find you?
We're based here in Southern California, so you can reach out to us directly. We have sales reps all across the country that are also an amazing resource, but we really do love connecting with the design community. I wish we were in New York right now, and hopefully later in this year, we'll see you all at BDNY or ICFF. We will definitely be there. But yeah, feel free. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to our sales team. Both my business partners also extremely available. So yeah, we look forward to connecting with you guys.
I love that, the personal touch. Well, thanks so much for being here, Brett. We are so inspired by Cerno, and hopefully we'll see you, as you said, this fall in New York.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Thanks, Brett.